that bird it looks too human.
My precious.
I'm Steve, and you're watching Classified Captures. All you great guys and girls that are part of our Classified Captures family, thank you for all your support, and we will continue making this show as good as we possibly can for you. Anyway, let's move on. This is one of my favorite UFO clips of all time. I mean, it's not every day we get footage of someone chasing something they believe might be a UFO. What's more, they didn't just put a camera on themselves to tell us the experience afterwards. We actually have live footage of the whole thing. We see 3 white lights and a red one in the middle. Now, I tried to Google and find any human crafts that have that exact setup, but couldn't come up with anything meaningful. I wasn't the only one in the community trying to determine its authenticity, though. A few in aviation shared their expertise, saying this could be a military bird, yet they were unable to state which. We then turned to the VFX specialists in the team, and they agreed that this could have been CGI or something like that. But, well, there was a but. According to them, only professional filmmakers could have pulled this off. But out of desperation, some turned to AI, including Grok, to find a solution. Now, the funny thing is, Grok never responded. Comments like these, however, made it clear that no respectable chunk of the community was going to buy whatever Grok sold to them. A few others pointed out that this was recycled footage with a new description, and not everyone agreed. Personally, this feels like the first time I'm seeing this. I could be wrong, but what do you guys think? Does it seem legit? Have you seen it before? Let me know in the comments section. When was the last time that you visited a doctor? I know many of us can't actually stand getting that far in the first place. Now, I've discovered ZogDoc. Yes, ZogDoc, who have been kind enough to sponsor this episode. It was easy. If I tried to do this the traditional means, I would have been probably waiting about a week. But this was just the greatest experience that I've ever had trying to get an appointment. I visited their site, I clicked on the dental exam that I wanted, select my insurance company, and then it showed me practitioners. It was that easy. I could see their ratings, specialities, even the number of clients they had on their books at that time. And I was able to book something within 24 hours. Didn't take me any time at all to do this. And I'll tell you what's even more important. It was free. I'd been putting off this doctor's appointment for such a long time. I was busy, but ZogDoc made the whole thing so easy for me. Taking care of your health just got easier. Visit our sponsor at zogdog.com/classified-captures. Speaking of clips of bizarre creatures, take a good look at this one. Yup, it's got the head of a bull in a humanoid body. The clip is short, so we don't see much of it. The creature appears to be holding a goat in its arms, which might be a pet or food. If this were filmed in ancient Greece, that creature would have been described as a minotaur. It was a creature born from the shameful union of Queen Pasiphae and a white bull, and before you ask me why the queen was going after bulls, well, let me address it. She was cursed by Poseidon after her husband, King Minos, broke a vow. She got pregnant and gave birth to a creature like this. To hide the shame, he was kept hidden in an inescapable labyrinth until he was slain by Theseus. It ate only human flesh. If we were gonna go by that detail alone, we could call this fake, but then again, who knows if there were other minotaurs. Ancient Greece was wild. Anyway, what do you guys think? Legit or not?
¿Qué clase de pájaro es ese con manos? ¿Está allá arriba?
I mean, it's AI. Come on, give me a break here. It's gotta be AI, right? That bird it looks too human. I mean, there are birds that kind of look like this, but, yeah, I personally think that this has gotta be AI, surely. Any of the biologists or anybody can tell me if this bird is real.
Miren eso. ¿Qué clase de pájaro es ese con manos? Está allá arriba. ¿Escuchaste cómo gritó? ¿Qué locura es esa? Mira, tiene como carne viva en el pecho.
Man, I'd love to go out with a mermaid. I don't know what those things are. See, I'd love to go out with a mermaid. I mean, you got pretty gorgeous girl on top, and if you feel package, you can make fish and chips with the bottom half. That's a cool little turtle thing.
My precious.
Wow. I mean, it's all very clever. Wouldn't you love these kinds of supernatural beings to be real, though? Mythology, I mean, is it based on fact? Is there kind of like, portals to other worlds where they come and go? A bit like the idea of the Fae, you know? But I'm interested to know what you think. I am. Now, I don't know about you, but I've seen my fair share of clouds, and none of them look like this. I mean, come on and take a good look. That's a chunk block-shaped cloud moving across the sky. This was allegedly recorded in Great Britain. The skeptical ones are leaning toward there being a scientific explanation for this, and believe me, I've checked and there's not. All the explanations I got were all intelligent hypotheses, even from AI. Simply put, this doesn't logically make sense. Many think it's a UFO doing a bad job of staying hidden or camouflaged. Personally, I find that more believable, but it could be my bias since, well, I love these possible encounter clips. Take a good second look and tell me, do you think that's an alien ship in disguise, or do you think it's just a cloud and we're way in over our heads? Well, let's see your thoughts. While you share your thoughts, allow me to share a clip that came in an email titled, "They're either stealing our water or experimenting with it." This sounds like a mouthful, bit like a glass of water, but take a good look at the clip. You get why the subscriber who sent the email would think that, right? I mean, the water appears to be moving into the sky and disappears behind the clouds. Now, if I didn't know any better, I'd agree with him. I did a little research, however, and discovered that this looks like a water spout. Those ones typically form like this. Warm, humid air spins rapidly off the surface, causing the air pressure inside to drop. This instantly cools the invisible vapor, turning it into a visible cloud column that looks like it's stretching between the sky and the sea. So rather than sucking up actual ocean water, it's mostly made of cloud condensation, though it does whip up a ring of sea spray right at the bottom. Seems like an unnecessary explanation right there, but what do you think? Is this really aliens sucking out water like the email said, or are we simply looking at a water spout?
А что, нормально так-то?
So this is supposedly one of the Pentagon UFO files that were released, and it's rather concerning to say the least. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's a strange object in the sky the army is trying to shoot down, and the UFO keeps dodging it like it's a game. Simply put, it doesn't look like we have the technology to deal with these things. They were never able to shoot the UFO down, which might be a bit humiliating for the army, but let's talk about it. If we've seen anything from the geopolitical conflicts happening around the world, it's that the armies of the first world countries have some pretty precise and powerful weapons. If the weaponry of the USA couldn't bring this down, then I'd be worried. This is just one UFO. What if they attacked in full force? Well, can we do anything about it? Maybe I'm overthinking this. Maybe the army made the clip up. That's an easier pill to swallow than the army couldn't shoot down one UFO. But anyway, let me know what you think. And speaking of aliens, take a look at this clip. I'm not sure where exactly it was recorded, but the uploader of the clip initially thought she was looking at some sort of drone show. A few seconds in, she realized that this was no drone show. There was actually a large object above her, and it was moving in the camouflage of the clouds. She didn't want to believe it, but it felt like she was looking at some sort of UFO. The rest of the body has been skillfully camouflaged, but not the lower part. Now, if we were to use our imagination, we'd call this a saucer. Now, we could be wrong, though. Take a look and tell us your expert opinion. Now, you might be wondering what in the CGI or AI this strange ghostly-looking thing is. Believe me when I tell you, this is no AI. No, my gentlemen and beautiful ladies, what you're looking at is the skeleton panda sea squirt, or Clavelina ossipandi. Yeah, I gotta pronounce that wrong. And yeah, it looks like a tiny floating panda skeleton, like something straight out of CGI, except it's completely real. It's a sea squirt, a simple marine animal that lives attached to rocks or coral, mostly found around Japan. It's tiny too, just about 1 or 2 centimeters long. Now here's the strange part. Its body is completely transparent. What looks like bones are actually white blood vessels. And that panda face your brain keeps seeing? That's just pigment. No skull, no eyes like that, just markings playing tricks on you. It feeds by filtering seawater, pulling in microscopic food as water flows in and out of its body. Most of the time, they live in small clusters, like a group of identical little ghosts. And here's the twist. When you're young, sea squirts can swim and even have a primitive backbone. Then they settle down, attached to a surface, and spend the rest of their lives just filtering water. It's not paranormal, but it's definitely not something that feels normal either, and somehow the ocean just keeps making things like this. And I still stand by my firm belief, the aliens are in the water. You can't convince me otherwise. This is a bird's nest, and pay close attention. They didn't use twigs or the typical tree parts in putting it together. Nope, they're actually using wires and cables from drones. Yeah, the drones we keep dropping near the habitat. And somehow these birds decided the cables and wires were the best thing to use. With how technology has been developing recently, there have been talks of what the cyberpunk future might look like. We always thought it might start with human beings being able to change their body parts or whatever they want, but it looks like that might not be the case at all. Looks like the birds are already ahead in that race. Not all jokes aside. It's kind of worrying, don't you think? At one point, copper was quietly doing its job in swimming pools in a way most people never really think about today. It wasn't used as a main sanitizer, but as a helper, either in copper sulfate form or through copper ionization systems. Its strength was simple. Copper is naturally hostile to algae, so instead of pools turning green and murky, copper helped keep the water visually clearer for longer periods. Some people, like the man in the clip, believed that it had other benefits, including charging our bodies and whatnot, keeping the diseases away. Yeah, it was healing their bodies, according to these guys. He claims Big Pharma didn't like that, so they convinced everyone to switch to chlorine, which was allegedly the healthier option. That, according to him, was a lie. Chlorine was only healthier for their pockets and not our health. Every research paper I've reviewed say otherwise, but he claims Big Pharma altered the research documents. Now, what do you guys think about the whole thing? Remember, farmers still use copper rods in the water for their livestock. If it was that bad, then the livestock would be dying, right? Okay. On to the next clip.
When the copper was rested in the swimming pools, copper ions were being absorbed into the water, which hold an electrical charge. Therefore, when people were swimming in these pools, their bodies were absorbing this charged water, and we are electrical beings. Therefore, the water that they were swimming in and bathing in was instantaneously healing their bodies. And so if you then think about copper pipes, which are being completely erased, it then makes perfect sense, because the elites realize that when water flows through copper pipes, that water then becomes charged water, creating some of the most powerful water in the world, purifying it to a level no other material can match. This is another reason why farmers would place copper in their livestock's water bowls.
That's fantastic. We got a real-life Timon and Pumbaa. Genius. Man, that makes me want to go back to Africa. I mean, that's the coolest thing ever, right? Timon, Pumbaa, and little, whatever the lion was called. What the hell was the lion called? I can't remember. This clip allegedly comes from Valzina, Brazil, and guess what? It was actually recorded in 1996. It's only recently gaining attention because of the other many clips showing alien activity in Brazil. It has that old clip feel, which you'd expect from something from 1996, but the alien movement in it feels less than natural. I mean, it feels like a bad CGI render or an AI render being forced to look old. It could just be me being skeptical and wrong. You guys have seen it, so what do you think? And while you share your thoughts, allow me to announce that your lab-grown milk is here. Wilk is an Israeli biotech company working on what is often called cell-based or cultured milk. Instead of using cows, they use milk-producing memory cells grown in lab-controlled bioreactors. These cells are guided to produce real milk components like fat and proteins, not just imitation flavoring. They have already shown early results, including cultured milk fat, which has been used in prototype products like hybrid yogurt. In these tests, lab-grown dairy fat is combined with traditional ingredients to recreate real dairy structure and texture. From a scientific view, this is part of cellular agriculture, where animal products are produced without raising animals using controlled biological systems. In online conspiracy and paranormal spaces, milk is often seen as part of a wider shift towards lab-controlled food production, when natural food systems are gradually replaced with engineered ones. I can't say more, but it began to sound like a conspiracy. So let's stick with the facts so far. Would you get this? Now let's move to Ecuador, where an unidentified flying object was captured in the skies of Latacunga. Now, this is the first for us. We've not had alien clips from Ecuador, which has me wondering why now. Some feel like the World Cup is being used to cover up these alien appearances all over the globe, while some in the community think people are using AI to get their 5 minutes of fame. While going through the comments of the original post, a few mentioned that we can be looking at a balloon instead. Now you've seen it, so what say you?
Sí, es un dron. No, es una nave alienígena. Pero ven a ver, no tiene pinta de dron. Tiene pinta de lo que sea menos de...
I'm not sure if you've heard it already, but it's alleged that Norway shipped their own food to the World Cup. Yep, they didn't trust the American food system enough to eat from there. This has sparked a lot of debates online, with some stating that national teams often bring their own nutrition systems with them. This can include pre-planned meals, trusted food suppliers, supplements, and even packaged items that athletes are already used to. The goal is simple: remove uncertainty. At the elite level, performance level, even small changes in diet can affect recovery, stamina, and output. Some feel that it's just making excuses, as athletes would have been given the creme de la creme of American food. They're saying no, and bringing their food means they know something about the American food the ordinary citizens maybe don't. It's a big stretch, but, well, is this proof that the food conspiracies that we've been sharing here are true? While we may be uncertain about the food system, we can be certain about these robots. Yep, they're dancing now. I know what you're thinking, they're making the aliens more approachable. While that might look like this situation, this is just them showcasing how fine the movements of these robots have become. The military is sitting there watching this and smiling. You know why? The more fluid movements these guys are capable of, the easier it's gonna be for them to be weaponized. Yep. Hope you enjoyed the show, though. I've never danced like that in my entire life. Leave it alone. I repeat, leave it alone. This was recorded by an individual who was exploring the great outdoors. It was a great experience, made even better by the discovery of this ancient infrastructure. Is infrastructure the right word? I think it is. Well, now obviously they want to go explore and learn the secrets of this ancient site, but everything in my spirit is screaming, leave it alone. Maybe it's fear screaming, but you guys have seen it too, so what do you think? Still on things that should be left alone, take a good look at this Bigfoot clip. It looks like a Bigfoot mama with a baby Bigfoot. Now, I noticed there was someone in the vicinity and so decided to be careful. And from its movement, we can tell it didn't want to be there or even be seen. Just look at how it stealthily runs away. Many believe the way it moved and behaved is proof that this is real. Others think it's too good to be true and mention that the baby Bigfoot remained stiff throughout the entire movement. So they called it unnatural. No matter the species, babies are always a handful, and this baby just remained stiff in an upright position, almost as though it were unreal. I know. I'm beginning to sound like those guys who don't like Bigfoot stuff, but I do love Bigfoot. You know about me and the big guy. I just wanted us to objectively look at the evidence. Now you've seen it, you can tell me what you think. I have two unusual clips from residents in different parts of the US who had captured eerily similar incidents just days apart. Take a look. The first clip was recorded by a security camera in Los Angeles, and it shows the front of a house and car. Early in the morning, before sunrise, a strange sequence unfolds. First, the sound of something falling from above, followed by a loud bang and a blinding flash that lights up the area for a brief moment. Although the camera doesn't capture the sky, the flash's intensity is reflected in the surroundings. Next, we visit Albuquerque, New Mexico, where another home security camera captured an almost identical event just days later. Positioned in the driveway, this camera shows the neighborhood view when a similar loud crash and bright flash occur. This time, however, all the car alarms in the vicinity go off, creating a chaotic scene with multiple vehicles sounding their alarms in response to the mysterious impact. With no clear explanation yet, various theories are circulating, with some suggesting that these are UFO crash landings, meteor impacts, or perhaps secretive technological tests. What do you think? Someone recently shared some intriguing footage of a mysterious entity wiggling around in a thick, clear liquid in their bathtub. The creature was submerged in the viscous liquid, making it difficult to identify exactly what it might be. Its movements were peculiar, almost otherworldly, sparking both curiosity and a touch of unease. As you watch the footage, there's something undeniably off about it. The way the creature moves seems almost too fluid, too surreal, like something crafted with CGI. The bizarre undulations and lifelike motion make you question whether this is an elaborate digital trick or a genuine anomaly caught on camera. You watch the clip, what are your thoughts?
See that? Go back some. What? Go back a little bit, then zoom in so they can see it. All on the Ring camera detection. Now watch this, the next one. What the hell? Pause it on that.
So a man and his wife noticed this bright light outside their home, but only lasted a split second. It was more like a flash and so short that they both started to doubt if they had indeed seen anything. But there's no way they both could have seen something that was not real, right? Well, that's exactly what they thought. They decided to investigate, and the first thing they looked at was footage from their Ring camera. That's the clip you have been seeing on your screen for the past few seconds. If you pay attention, you'll notice that just around the time the light burst occurs, a strange object appears on top of their neighbor's house. Only for a few seconds, but then disappears. If I didn't know better, I would say that's a cloaked alien ship beaming someone or a group of individuals out of that house. It all happens so fast. But if my hypothesis is correct, this is alien tech we are dealing with here. It's certainly possible, either that or that's some convincing fake right there. But then again, you guys tell me what you think. I'll be reading the comments.
Look how big this thing is.
Yo.
During a recent SpaceX rocket launch, one of the onboard cameras captured something strange in the footage. Take a close look. In the corner on the left side of the screen, there's a winged figure hovering near the rocket. It appears humanoid in shape, but with large, defined wings. The figure only stays visible for a brief moment before retreating from the frame. What could this possibly be? Some believe it was the Angel of Death that perhaps changed its mind midway launch. Others suggest it might be a large bird that happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. The Angel of Death bit sounds very interesting, but what do you think? Since the pandemic, people have been seeking ways to manage the stress and anxiety that took a toll during the lockdown, and the wellness industry has responded big time. From emotional release retreats to unconventional therapies, it's exploded into a sector raking in millions yearly. The surprising part, some of the treatments seem so unusual and expensive that they almost feel out of reach for the average person. Take the example of the $10,000 hot tub experience. A group of men floating in water, some crying, some screaming. It's called primal therapy, designed to help people release deeply buried emotions. Then there's a $4,000 retreat in the woods where women scream and vent their rage, supposedly letting out built-up anger and stress. There are even forest bathing retreats, some healing sessions and energy cleanses that seem to draw large crowds, all with hefty price tags. The big question is, are these high-ticket treatments really worth it? Some would argue that if it's helping people reconnect with themselves to heal emotionally, well, maybe it's a good investment. But there's also a growing belief that these retreats are cashing in on people's vulnerability, offering flashy, sometimes extreme experiences that may not be more effective than traditional therapy. Aren't they taking this wellness thing a bit too far? When people say AI is taking over, I think we shouldn't take it lightly. According to The Hollywood Reporter, a new streaming service called Showrunner is making its way to mainstream media. Showrunner allows users to create prompts and then watch AI-generated animated programs. This means that you can make your own shows, which could impact the viewership and success of traditional shows created by professionals. The rise of AI-generated content could have significant implications for the entertainment industry. Writers, animators, and other creative professionals invest a lot of time and effort into producing high-quality content. If AI-generated shows become popular, it might reduce the demand for traditionally produced shows, potentially affecting jobs and livelihoods in the industry. On the other hand, Showrunner could make content creation easy, allowing more people to bring their ideas to life without needing a big budget or professional skills.
Jay, Lena, is the laptop okay? No, Mom, but you are.
This might lead to a more diverse range of content and new opportunities for creativity. It's quite a sensitive topic, but how do you feel about this development?
And by the time you meet Popsicles had realized the reality of your creations, it was all too late, wasn't it? Humans became so good at consuming, we couldn't help but wonder what it'd be like to consume them. But don't worry, we found humans more valuable for their minds than for snacking, though history might have flavored things a bit differently.
You see it too, don't you? There's a tiny being walking through the grass. The clip ends with a shocked and surprised look from the lady present. I don't know about you, but that makes me think and believe that this has got to be real. But even if it is, what exactly is that creature? The first thing that comes to mind when looking at it is the Smurfs, but the Smurfs aren't real, right? Well, this clip proves otherwise. Aaron, our conspiracy theorist, was trying to explain to the team how this could be real, but our video editor mentioned that the color grading between the creature moving and the environment didn't match. In other words, this was an edited video. Julius agreed, and soon the words of our conspiracy theorist was treated as an error. The Smurfs, or creatures like that existing in our world, could be an interesting find, but it's hard to go against their logic and argument. What do you guys think? Is there a chance this could be real? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. When it comes to the supernatural, some people don't take it seriously, even going so far as to playfully summon forces they don't fully understand. If you're one of those, this next footage might make you think twice. A young man, apparently as a joke, invited a demon into his home one evening and didn't think much of it. Later at night, he woke to a terrifying sight. This massive, shadowy figure was lurking in the corner of his room. Its body was dark and hazy, shaped like a massive dog standing upright on two legs with piercing, glowing eyes locked directly on him. Panicked, he reached for his phone to record what he was seeing, unsure if it was real or just a trick of the mind. But even through the camera, the figure was still there, unmoving and watching. In a last-ditch effort, he grabbed a crossbow and fired at the creature before fleeing his house in sheer terror. Whether this footage is real or just a hoax, it serves as a stark reminder to not mess with things you don't understand. There's always a chance that something might answer back.
Mommy, a girl behind you.
What are you?
In this footage, an elderly man is out camping with his daughter and granddaughter, enjoying a cozy bonfire one night. As the man circles the fire, adding wood and paper to keep the flames going, his daughter casually films him, and then she notices something strange. There, in the shadows, is an odd figure seemingly following him around the fire. The young granddaughter's voice breaks the stillness as she too points it out, saying there's a girl following him. The figure appears briefly in the camera's view, moving in sync with the man. Julius thinks it's just a reflection from the fire, but Aaron believes there's something more to it. Given that even the little girl noticed it, what are your thoughts? Is it simply a trick of the light, or is there something else, something more mysterious lingering by the fire?
Mommy, a girl behind you.
What are you?
มาฝั่งนี้สิลูกมือหลวงพ่อใหญ่จะได้ถูก
This man lived to the age of 109 and passed away in 2022. He was known as Luang Fo Yai, a revered monk. In his old age, he was bedridden, as you can see in the footage, with his frail body and the outline of his bones visible beneath his skin. Despite his physical condition, he seemed remarkably lively, interacting warmly with his grandchildren and great-grandchildren who were running around his bed. Luang Fo Yai's life and legacy as a monk are profound. Even in his advanced age, bedridden and fragile, his spirit remained vibrant. This video captures a touching scene of a man who, despite his weakened state, is full of life and joy, especially in the presence of his family. Do tell me something, though. Would you want to live this long? What's going on with the weather? As of July 24th, 4 major disasters were hitting different parts of the world at the same time, showing just how serious things have become. In the USA, Oregon is grappling with severe wildfires, which have been exacerbated by prolonged drought and high temperatures. These fires are consuming vast areas of land, destroying homes and causing evacuations. In Italy, severe hailstorms have struck, causing significant damage. These hailstorms are not only a hazard to people and property, but also affecting agriculture, with crops being damaged or destroyed. India is experiencing severe floods, particularly in regions that have been hit by relentless monsoon rains. These floods have caused rivers to overflow, leading to widespread inundation of towns and villages. In Kenya, heavy rains and strong winds have resulted in severe flooding. The torrential rains have overwhelmed drainage systems, leading to waterlogging and destruction of homes and roads. The high winds have compounded the situation, causing additional damage and making the conditions more hazardous. These simultaneous weather-related catastrophes underscore the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events globally. Climate change is playing a significant role in these events as rising global temperatures contribute to more severe and unpredictable weather patterns. Here we have footage from a man who spotted something lurking in the woods across the field he was standing on.
I just seen something over in the woods, Chris, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Do you see that? Do you see that?
It shows a massive furry figure moving back and forth on two legs, shifting as though it's watching him. This creature towers at an estimated height of around 8 feet, with broad shoulders and a sturdy build, too large and upright to resemble a typical animal. Could it be a Bigfoot, or maybe even the elusive Dogman? Share your thoughts, especially if you were like Julius and think it's just a hoax.
I just seen something over in the woods, Chris, and I don't know if you can see this or not. Do you see that? Do you see that?
In this footage, this man, camping alone in the woods, thought he'd found a peaceful spot for the night. He had everything set up, and as he finally laid down, he began to hear strange noises echoing from outside his tent. At first, he heard distant howlings, which was unsettling enough, but then he started to pick up on something else, another noise that didn't quite fit with the sounds of wildlife. Feeling a deep unease, he decided to check it out. He unzipped his tent and shone his flashlight into the dark forest. His light caught a figure standing by a nearby tree, partially hidden in the shadows. The figure didn't resemble any animal, and its form was eerily human-like, yet somehow not quite right. Within a few seconds, he hears what sounds like the voices of children, and it sends chills down his spine. That's not something you expect. Given the fact that this clip was eventually uploaded, it means he survived, but you have to wonder, what did he just encounter? Many individuals online are convinced it could be the spirit of a child. A number are also skeptical about the whole thing, and then there's Julius, our in-house science whiz and non-believer in the paranormal, who is convinced that everything in the clip is a paid actor. But what do you guys think?
Here's the biggest thing I've got. This is from an 18-foot person, estimated. Big toe bone, there it is.
That is this part?
Yeah, your very end big toe bone. It's been x-rayed, and this person had broke their toe bone, and then it healed up.
Now, this video was taken at a facility or perhaps a different kind of place, I'm not entirely sure. But what's certain is that these people have safely kept skeletal remains they believe to belong to giants. The first specimen they show is the big toe bone of what they estimate to be a 19-foot-tall person. Just look at that. It's enormous, giving us a glimpse of the sheer size of these supposed giants. The scale of this bone is astonishing. Next, they display the bones of a little finger. The woman in the video explains that they visited a village in Turkey believed to be the burial site of Noah's wife. Noah, for those unfamiliar, is the biblical character known for building an ark to survive the great floods, a story well known among the Christians. In the grave, they retrieved 3 sets of bones, and upon review by experts, it was determined that these bones assembled to form a small finger. Look at how large this finger bone is. It's even longer than the woman's entire palm. This discovery raises fascinating questions about our history and the stories passed down through generations. If these bones indeed belong to giants, they could provide physical evidence supporting ancient texts and myths that speak of such beings.
A human finger with a touch of arthritis. And this is the This is this part of the finger. See, it's this, this, and this.
I really need your help with this one. I was cooking some spinach and one of the leaves just started inflating, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. It kind of looks like plastic. Can somebody tell me what that is?
What is going on with our food? There are several clips of people finding odd-looking items that they bought. Here we have a clip of a man who was cooking spinach when this happened. The vegetable began to swell. This is not normal spinach behavior. In another incident, someone bought an avocado, and when it was sliced, this is what they found. The avocado was plastic. The person even twisted the slice, and still it had this plastic look. It did not smash, but twisted like plastic. Here we have another one. A woman bought chicken breast from the store, and while she was preparing one piece, she noticed shards of glass in the chicken. Another person bought cheese, and this is what happened. Instead of the cheese melting onto the fire, it became harder. What is all this? The food manufacturing companies, what is going on with their products? From rubber fruits and vegetables to glass in the chicken, these incidents raise serious concerns about food safety and the integrity of our food supply.
One of the leaves just started inflating, and I'm not sure if that's supposed to happen. It kind of looks like plastic. Can somebody tell me what that is?
A man from the Czech Republic shared a bizarre video he filmed after waking up one morning to see a long white streak rising straight up into the sky. At first glance, it looked like a contrail, like something from a jet, but then he moved the camera down and saw it was coming right out of his neighbor's chimney. Now, this isn't your usual chimney smoke. It's thin, bright white, and shoots up in a perfectly straight line, almost as if it's being pushed with force. Unlike the typical billowing grayish smoke you'd expect from a chimney. It's an unsettling sight, and you can't help but wonder what on earth could this neighbor be burning or cooking to produce smoke like this. Here we have yet another intriguing piece of footage, this time from Japan. This object is seen from a distance, resembling a meteorite falling toward Earth. As it approaches, it glows brighter and brighter. Just look at that. You can even see its reflection glistening across the sea below. It shines intensely for a moment, lighting up the night sky, and then, just as mysteriously as it appeared, it vanishes back into the darkness. If this and all the other meteorite clips we've seen are true, should we be worried? Why are a lot of them suddenly falling a lot to the Earth, especially now that we are visiting space a lot? Something to think about. Wouldn't you agree? Man was out one day when he came across a strange-looking bird.
Oh my God, bro, that's a whole dinosaur. I'm about to be rich. I need at least $1 million for this discovery.
This bird had an unusually long neck adorned with fluffy feathers sticking out from it and all over its head. Its wings looked droopy, and despite its small size, it seemed very hostile. It resembled some sort of ancient exotic bird. The peculiar appearance of this bird is truly captivating. Its long neck and unique feather arrangement give it an almost prehistoric look, as if it were a creature from a different era. Its hostile demeanor makes me wonder what kind of bird this could be. Do you have any idea what this could be? Is it an exotic species, a rare bird, or something else entirely? Let us know in the comments section.
Wait, hey! That's why y'all dumbasses think.
If you thought that was odd, wait till you see the next one. Someone captured this during bad weather, and it looks like some sort of anomaly in the sky rolling away. But what's more alarming is the bright orb in the middle. The way the clouds are moving with the reddish glow at the center prevents this from looking like a natural phenomenon. How many natural phenomena do you know that looks like that? None. It's almost like a scene from a sci-fi thriller. To make this even more eerie, as soon as the strange cloud formation rolls away, lightning takes over with a deafening thunderclap. What's more, the red glow in the middle looks too defined to be a mere trick of light, and the immediate onset of lightning and thunder makes the whole scene even more dramatic. Some, however, suspect this is nothing more than a blue beam project. Now that you guys have seen this, what do you think? On October the 27th, two women, one in Wyoming and the other in Yukon, Canada, captured an intriguing sight in the sky. Well, why is this a big deal? Well, both filmed this phenomenon at nearly the same time. Take a look.
Is it a fire jet or is it a plane that's crashing?
That is so wild.
Yeah, that's definitely crashing.
What is happening?
It's going straight. It's going straight down.
What? A meteor!
Jets don't do that.
Meteor!
Ooh, don't say that.
It's a meteor!
The footage shows something falling from the sky, appearing almost golden as it glows against the atmosphere, resembling a meteor. But the unusual brightness and the controlled, smooth descent make many wonder if it's something else entirely. Unlike meteors, which tend to streak through the sky with intense speed, this object appears to be moving at a controlled speed. This has got many talking and wondering if perhaps it's a manned craft or at least a controlled one. The theories are running wild, and I don't mind hearing what you think.
What is happening?
It's going straight. It's going straight down.
What? A meteor!
The tattoo chicken's pretty good, actually.
Humans really do seem to be getting weirder by the day. Check this out. A woman went into a store just to pick up some chicken when she stumbled across a tattooed chicken. Yeah, you heard that right. The skin of the chicken had been tattooed. Now, seriously, what in the world is this supposed to be? Some kind of culinary art or just a bizarre novelty? Are these drawings even safe to eat? And just the thought of someone handling the chicken like that, pressing ink onto the skin. Whew, yikes. Who would even try it? Or is this a solid nope on your shopping list?
The tattoo chicken's pretty good, actually.
A woman walked up to her sink to wash her hands, and what she encountered was simply startling. There, nestled in the sink, was an animal with its eyes peeking out. At first glance, it looked like it could be a snake or a frog. Given that sinks are connected to sewers where all sorts of creatures lurk, this mysterious visitor could be anything. Imagine the surprise and unease of finding an unexpected guest emerging from the plumbing. The sewers are home to a wide array of animals, from frogs to snakes and even rats. Our plumbing is usually engineered in a way to prevent these things from making their way to the pipes, but there are times when we are surprised, like Our Lady in the clip. What do you think that what she encountered could be? A harmless frog seeking refuge, or something more sinister lurking in the depths of the sewer system? Share your thoughts and theories. At Logan Canyon in Utah, some people captured footage of what they believed might be a Bigfoot. The creature appeared dark, probably due to its fur, and was both huge and muscular. To validate their claim, they made another recording from the same distance and location, this time featuring a 6-foot-tall man weighing about 220 pounds. When comparing both footage, it was evident that the creature was significantly larger and taller than the man. The footage has stirred quite a bit of excitement among Bigfoot enthusiasts and researchers. The creature's massive build and the fluidity of its movements seem to surpass what one might expect from a person in a costume. Moreover, the environment of Logan Canyon, with its dense forests and remote areas, is often cited as ideal Bigfoot territory. It's quite fascinating to see how close we might be to uncovering the existence of these elusive creatures. The debate about Bigfoot's existence has been ongoing for decades, and footage like this adds fuel to the fire. Skeptics, however, might argue it's a hoax or a misidentification, while believers see it as more evidence of Bigfoot's reality. What are your thoughts on the footage, Bigfoot or not? This video is said to be footage taken from a massive fishing boat out at sea. The fishermen had reeled in something huge, and now people are struggling to figure out exactly what it is they caught. The creature is long, almost eel-like, but with a strange head that resembles a squid. It has two thick tentacles that seem to lead straight to the mouth. On one side of its head, there are more protruding parts that almost look like additional limbs or fins. The body is long, which adds to the confusion. It doesn't quite match any fish we commonly know. Some say it looks prehistoric, others think it could be some kind of deep-sea creature, but the skeptics claim it might just be a very good AI-generated clip. Whatever the case may be, it's strange, and with how little we actually know about the deep sea, it wouldn't be too surprising if something like this really was down there. Oh, and I also think it's worth mentioning that some think it's a gigantic squid, but I don't know about that. This video was shared by someone who'd recently visited the battlefield. While walking along a quiet path near the edge of the field, something strange caught their attention. They quickly pulled out their phone and started recording. Along the path, you can see translucent figures marching back and forth. The figures materialize for a few seconds at a time before fading back into nothing. And did I mention where this was recorded? I only said battlefield, but the clip is from Gettysburg. Back in the day, Gettysburg was the site of one of the bloodiest battles in American history. Thousands of soldiers lost their lives there, and it's no surprise that stories of hauntings have surrounded the place ever since. Many believe the land still holds the energy of the past, what some call residual spirits. Some believe these are the spirits of fallen soldiers caught in a loop of trauma, never able to rest. Others think it might just be a camera glitch, but if you watch closely, it's hard to deny that something unusual is happening. Whatever it is, it's just one more reason why Gettysburg remains one of the most haunted places in America, unless, of course, this is fake and we're exaggerating. Anyway, what do you think?
В воде просто трындец. Куда вот это заехали? Твою мать, что за наклон? Не знаю, видно или нет, эта фигня крутится. Ты вот это не снимаешь? Смерч сраный. Сейчас нас не пойдем.
Next, we've got this clip that was taken by some men at sea. They witnessed a strange transparent tube extending from the sky to the water's surface. Naturally, they were baffled by what they saw, and watching the clip, well, I was too. The tube, seemingly clear and shimmering, stretched down from the clouds, touching the ocean in a surreal and almost otherworldly display. No one can say for certain what this transparent tube is or what it could be doing. It's an enigmatic phenomenon that has left everyone scratching their heads. The footage has drawn a lot of attention, with various theories circulating online. One of the commenters on the original post stated, "There's a UFO above the clouds siphoning water out of the ocean through that vacuum tube you see here in the video." In this age of alien talk and increased interest in extraterrestrial phenomena, well, who's to say this comment isn't right? But I have questions. Why would they need water from our planet? Well, perhaps it's for research. And when you think about it, the idea of a UFO using some advanced technology to draw water from the ocean is as plausible as any other explanation, given the lack of concrete evidence. What are your thoughts on this, though? Do you think that there could be a more mundane explanation, or does this footage hint at something beyond our current understanding?
А что, нормально так-то?
Next, we've got a clip that was taken off the coast of New Hampshire. Some fishing boats were out on the sea when something incredible happened.
What's going
The footage shows a boat ahead, and suddenly a massive whale appears out of the water and slams into it. Just look at that. The impact is powerful, sending the boat sinking into the water almost instantly. It's a dramatic and dangerous scene, and luckily it doesn't look like anyone was seriously injured. Naturally, a collision with such a large marine animal should cause serious injury or worse, but looks like they were lucky this time. Whales are magnificent creatures, but they can also be unpredictable, especially when they breach the water's surface. This video serves as a reminder of the immense power of nature and the importance of caution when out at sea. The fishermen on the other boats must have been in shock witnessing such a rare and intense event. This kind of encounter is not only dangerous but also incredibly rare, making it a moment they'll likely never forget. A man was out on a solo night walk along the shores of a beach in Mexico when he captured this. It was a sound coming from the ocean. It sounds surreal and loud. He shared the recording online, and it's been creeping people out ever since. The auto captures a long, echoing wail that seems to come from somewhere deep beneath the water. It doesn't sound like waves or any kind of machine. It's more melodic, almost like a voice singing. Many people are wondering if it could be the song of a siren. In folklore, sirens are said to sing from the depths of the ocean, luring sailors toward danger, sometimes leading them to drown or crash their ships. Some believe their songs are meant to enchant and deceive, especially under the cover of night. But not everyone is convinced that this is something paranormal. Skeptics argue that the sound is more likely from a whale, possibly a humpback or a blue whale, which are known to produce long, low-frequency vocalizations that can travel for miles underwater and sometimes above the surface. But if you listen closely, there's something strange about this one. It feels intentional, like it's calling out. So do you think it's a whale or a siren? We have another doll incident. Luckily, no casualties this time. A man owned a doll that he believed might be haunted, and the footage he shared is enough to give anyone the chills. In the first clip, you can see the doll's head slowly turning on its own, even though there's no one nearby. To make sure he wasn't imagining things, he set up a camera to monitor the doll overnight. And that's when things got even stranger. Sometime during the night, an object falls off a small table where the doll is sitting. Now, the doll was positioned on an island in the room, and the object that fell was on a separate table with no one around. There's no draft, visible triggers, and no pets in sight. It's almost as if something invisible moved it, or the doll had something to do with it. Understandably shaken by what he captured, the man decided he couldn't keep the doll any longer, so he put it up for sale the very next day, saying he felt like the atmosphere in his home had changed since the doll arrived. Was this just an eerie coincidence, or something more sinister attached to the doll? If aliens do exist, then they must certainly be hiding from us. This footage was taken in the sky, showing donut-shaped discs in the clouds. They were positioned opposite each other and slanted away from each other. They had a reddish-orange hue and were just there suspended in the sky. Looking at the odd disc-like shape, many people believe there are clouds where UFOs are cloaked from human eyes. The unusual formation and the distinctive hue have fueled speculation that these could be alien spacecraft using advanced technology to blend in with their surroundings. On the other hand, skeptics like Julius argue that these are just lenticular clouds. Lenticular clouds often form in the atmosphere when moist air flows over mountains or other obstacles, creating a lens-like shape that can sometimes appear quite unusual. So what are your thoughts? Are those alien crafts up there, or are these just clouds? AI is getting very good, so far so good that it's getting increasingly difficult to distinguish between AI-generated content and real life. However, some people believe that AI can never truly replicate the nuances of reality. Take a look at this footage and tell me it doesn't look real. It's a video of a pig underwater with all four legs, but with a fishtail. Yes, it seems very unrealistic, a pig fish, whimsical and bizarre. But just look at the quality of the footage. It looks incredibly real. The attention to detail in the video, such as the way light refracts through the water and the seamless integration of the pig's body with the fishtail, demonstrates the impressive capabilities of modern AI and CGI technology. Now imagine what AI will be able to create in just a few years. Remember when we started hearing a lot of talk about celebrities and billionaires secretly building underground bunkers? It sounded like a wild conspiracy at first. There were reports of hidden tunnels, luxury shelters deep beneath the ground, and strange underground structures popping up all over the US. Well, it turns out that some of that might be more real than we thought. A former official from the Bush administration actually came forward claiming that the US government has spent $21 trillion, yeah, trillion with a T, on building underground cities. These aren't just survival bunkers. We're talking about entire underground cities designed for the rich and powerful and the so-called important people, all in preparation for a worst-case scenario, like a global extinction event or some world-ending disaster. If that's true, it means these cities aren't just rumors, they're real, and they've been in the works for a long time, kept secret from the rest of us. Suddenly, those conspiracy theorists don't sound so crazy anymore, do they? And if they really are preparing for something, well, what do they know that we don't? A brand new deepfake AI tool just dropped, and it's seriously freaking people out. Once you see it in action, you'll understand why. Someone did a live demo of the tool. This wasn't pre-recorded or edited. It was all happening in real time. The person switched between multiple celebrity faces from Elon Musk to other familiar figures, and the transitions were incredibly smooth. We're talking full-face movements, blinking, smiling, and even perfect lighting adjustments. Everything matched up in real time. It looked so real you'd never think it was fake. At one point, they moved a light around their face to show the shadows changing, and still, the fake face stayed locked in and tracked every movement flawlessly. It was disturbingly realistic. People in the comments were stunned. Some laughed, others were clearly unsettled, because if someone can look like anyone during a live stream or video call, what does that mean for identity, or for that matter, trust? This kind of technology used to sound like something out of a science fiction movie or a classified government project, but now it's out there, publicly available and evolving fast. We're entering a time where seeing something might not be enough to believe it's real. Back in 2018 in the UK, someone captured footage of strange pinkish orbs floating in the night sky. These mysterious lights drifted away, leaving onlookers baffled and intrigued. Then in 2021, the same glowing orbs were seen again, this time in Spain, prompting even more speculation. These orbs can't be fireflies, as they're much larger and higher up in the sky. Witnesses described them as eerily beautiful and otherworldly. I know that sounds conflicting, but that's the same vibe I get watching them. The reappearance of these orbs in different locations years apart raises many questions. There's some form of advanced technology, natural phenomenon we don't yet understand, or perhaps something even more extraordinary. I have my thoughts, but share yours on the subject. Can someone explain to me what in the aquatic world could be going on here? A pet fish owner went to drain the water out of the fish tank while the fish was inside. As he opened the valve for the water to drain out, something bizarre happened. The water started going down, but the fish remained at the top of the tank, swimming in the air. When I saw this, it looked very trippy. I mean, this is not possible. It's as if the fish is defying the laws of physics. Could this be some kind of optical illusion or trick? Maybe there's an invisible layer of water that's keeping the fish suspended, but that doesn't make any sense either. Or could it be some clever video editing trick that's making it look like the fish is floating in midair? Whatever the explanation, it's definitely one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. This was the original thing I wrote until Julius came out of nowhere, looked at the clip, laughed, and said double tank. If anyone understands what's going on or what he said, please explain in the comments section. Imagine driving and seeing everyone stopping and coming out of their cars with their phones in their hands. You try to see what they are so intrigued by, and then you see this.
Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí.
That's definitely not a Boeing, fighter jet, or any other type of plane we're used to. It definitely has to be of alien origin. I mean, it has that vibe, and people wouldn't be out of their cars recording an ordinary plane, unless, of course, the clip is doctored. Aaron doesn't think so, and Julius refused to comment because he thought we were just being ridiculous. Well, you've seen the clip. What do you think's going on here?
Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí.
Olha, bicho, que é isso, mano? Cuidado, Judá. Cuidado, mano. Que é isso, mano? Mano, não tem nada. Caralho, mano. Que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Mano, que é isso, bicho? Caralho, mano. Bora, mano.
Late one night, police in a quiet area were called by residents about banging sounds coming from a building. Concerned, they suited up, grabbed their guns, and went to check it out. As you can see in the footage, it's pretty late. When they arrived, the banging noise was still ongoing, echoing through their empty street. It was coming from a door that was repeatedly opening and closing. One of the officers cautiously approached the door, stepping through first while the rest followed. The person filming also entered and turned back to see if there was someone behind the door causing the banging, but there was no one. The wind wasn't blowing, and the door was wooden and heavy. As they stood there, the door continued its eerie motion, creaking and banging without any visible force acting on it. The officers checked the surroundings looking for any sign of tampering or natural causes, but everything seemed normal. After a while, things got really weird, and that spooks the officers. As they hurriedly tried to get out of the place, one of them's body cam captures something rather eerie and disturbing. We only see a face, but not what it is. Could this being have been behind the whole thing, or are we just reading more meaning into things than we should? I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Vai, mano, vai, mano. Vai, mano.
We've got another strange moment from the world of celebrities, this time involving Nicki Minaj, and honestly, it's hard not to notice how off it looks.
You alright? Huh? You okay?
During what seemed like a normal sit-down chat, Nikki suddenly starts behaving very strangely. Her eyes widen, she mutters something almost unintelligible, and her entire demeanor shifts, but not in the usual animated Nicki Minaj kind of way. It was quick, weird, and definitely out of character, even for someone known for eccentric energy. Now, people online are divided. Some say this was just a moment of nerves or acting, but others are pointing to the MK Ultra conspiracy theory. It says many celebrities are being controlled or manipulated by powerful elites using psychological programming. According to this theory, these kinds of glitches are signs of the programming breaking down. Then there's the reptilian shapeshifters. Some believe Nikki might be one of those alien-human hybrids supposedly hiding in plain sight. That's when people start pointing out eye shapes changing, odd blinking patterns, or inhuman movements. To top it all off, the man next to her in the clip even looks visibly concerned and asks if she's okay. What's your take? A glitch in the Matrix or something else entirely?
You alright? Huh? You okay?
A man had lived in his house for over 2 decades, which were quiet, uneventful years. But everything changed one ordinary afternoon while he was mowing the lawn. He noticed a patch of dead grass. Curious, he tapped it with the end of his mower, and to his surprise, it sounded hollow underneath. Something wasn't right. He shared a video of it online, and viewers immediately encouraged him to investigate. And after some hesitation, he finally did. And what he discovered was chilling. It was an old, sealed well, and the water inside had risen all the way to the top. He mentioned online that he planned to pump the water out just to see what might be hiding at the bottom, but that night, something happened. He was jolted awake by strange noises coming from beneath his house. It was a low, wet growl, like something breathing heavily and shifting in the darkness. He grabbed his phone and quietly stepped outside. With the flashlight on, he crouched to look under the house and saw nothing, but the audio captured it. It was a strange, gurgling, guttural sound. It echoed faintly but clearly like it was coming from deep below. Shaken, the man decided to spend the night elsewhere. He believes that whatever it was came from the well. Some viewers claim it could be a gator or an animal trapped inside, but others say that the sound wasn't from anything living in the natural world. Well, you've seen the clip, so what do you think we're dealing with here?
I'm fucking out of here. That's your fault.
This footage was taken on Christmas Island, and what you're looking at is not ants, but millions of crabs migrating from the water onto the island. These crabs are so small that they might look like spiders at first glance, but they're definitely crabs. Christmas Island is famous for this incredible natural phenomenon. Each year, millions of red crabs make their way from the forest to the ocean to spawn. During this migration, the crabs cover the island, turning roads, beaches, and even people's yards into a sea of moving red. In the footage, you can see them swarming over every available surface. Despite their small size, their sheer numbers create an almost surreal scene. It's as if the ground itself is alive and moving. It's a fascinating and slightly eerie sight as these tiny creatures seem to overwhelm everything in their path. The crabs are driven by a strong instinct to reproduce. They leave their burrows in the forest and head toward the sea to lay their eggs. This mass migration is triggered by the onset of the rainy season, which provides the moist conditions they need to survive the journey. There are allegedly many secrets in this world that we, the regular people, do not know and cannot understand. One intriguing example involves this man who took a €100 bill and put it under a microscope. First, he zoomed in on the image of the bridge. Just above the bridge, he noticed a tiny disc-shaped object that looked remarkably like a UFO. Intrigued, he continued to examine other parts of the bill. When he zoomed in on the purple-colored inscription of 100 in the corner of the bill, he saw something even more surprising, the head of an alien with large black eyes. As he explored further, he found strange vertical markings on another side of the note. These markings resembled the digital rain of numbers from the Matrix movie, with a line vertically crossing through them. These were just a few of the unusual details he discovered. While I don't know how credible these findings are, if these symbols and images are indeed present on the €100 note, it raises many questions. Why would such images be placed there? What purposes do they serve? Are they meant to convey a message to those in the know, or are they simply a form of artistic expression? Also, if you've gone on one of those bills at home, could you check if yours has the same features? Have you heard of Project Abigail? This unsettling footage was claimed to have come straight from the secretive experiment itself. Shot in black and white, the grainy video shows a cold, sterile room lined with metal-framed hospital beds, and the lighting is dim. Everything is still until a loud sound echoes through the space, and that's when it begins. The people in the beds, each one dressed in what looks like hospital robes, suddenly jolt awake. They scramble out of their beds, running toward the door in total chaos, as if something absolutely terrifying has just been unleashed. For those unfamiliar, Project Abigail is one of the more disturbing legends linked to Area 51. It's said to have been a highly classified human experiment conducted during the World War II era, supposedly to create a kind of super soldier. The story centers around a woman named Abigail, believed to be the daughter of a top-ranking military officer, but as the story goes, whatever they did to her went wrong. Some versions claim she was exposed to a series of experimental chemical treatments. Others say her body was mutated. It's also said that she was kept alive, locked away deep inside the facility after the project was shut down. Many people say it's just an urban legend, but others believe there's some truth to it. After all, there's always a little truth in every myth, right? And if this video really did come from Project Abigail, then, well, maybe the story isn't just a story after all. They say animals are more perceptive than we are, especially when it comes to things beyond our physical world. Some believe they can sense spiritual energy, danger, or even death long before we can. A woman came home one night to something she couldn't explain. Her apartment, usually quiet, felt off, and what she saw next chilled her to the bone. There were birds in her home, and quite a number of them, if we aren't mistaken. The strange thing is, she didn't own any. There shouldn't have been any birds in her home at all. They weren't chirping or flying about. Instead, they were completely silent. Stranger still was the way they'd arranged themselves. One had forced its body into a tiny space between the window frame. Another faced upward as if staring into something invisible. One was wedged between the door hinge and the wall, completely still, like it had hidden there in a panic. Another lay flat beneath the door, motionless, as though it had slipped under, trying to escape something. None of them moved. They weren't making a sound. We don't even know if they were alive or if they'd passed, but one thing was clear. Something had terrified them into total silence. People online believe animals sometimes sense spirits or even the approach of death. To them, the behavior of the birds was the sign of impending doom. Some also think there might be a more natural explanation. The only problem is, well, they couldn't give us any. So what do you think happened here? Is there something we're missing?
There's birds, guys. There's birds in my house. I don't know what to do. There's birds in my house. There's birds. There's a bird. There's a bird right there. There's a bird back there. Right there. There's a bird right there. There's so many birds. There's a bird right there. There's a bird. Oh, there's a bird right there. There's so many birds. Oh, there's so many birds.
This is said to be the world's largest dog, named Titan. How apt is that? And honestly, when you see the footage, it's hard not to do a double take. The dog stands almost shoulder to shoulder with a full-grown man. Its head nearly matches his height, and it moves like a normal dog would, blinking, panting, and wagging its tail. Everything about it looks real. The texture of the fur, the weight in its steps, even the way the light reflects off its body. Ha! It's wild. But here's the thing. These days, everything looks real. With AI-generated videos, ultra-realistic filters, and deepfakes, it's getting nearly impossible to tell what's genuine and what's computer-crafted. Some viewers are convinced Titan is just a CGI creation or AI-enhanced footage, and others believe it's a genetically altered dog breed. And while there have been record-breaking dogs in the past, like Zeus, the Great Dane, reached over 7 feet tall when standing on its hind legs, Titan seems to be doing the same, but I don't find any record of it. But this video is the only one. So what's the verdict? A real-life giant dog or a very convincing illusion?
Wow.
A pendulum ride in Saudi Arabia recently broke into mid-ride, and although thankfully no one died, several people were seriously injured. These rides are meant to swing back and forth like a giant clock arm, giving riders that stomach-dropping thrill, but this time, the fun turned into a nightmare. Mid-swing, the ride snapped in half. Just imagine that moment is terrifying. Honestly, I'm already traumatized by all the amusement park accidents we've heard about over the years, from roller coasters derailing to rides getting stuck upside down for hours. There's no shortage of horror stories, and this incident only adds to the list. You couldn't pay me to get on one of those rides now. I don't care how exciting it looks or how many safety checks it's passed. Some of these machines just look like accidents waiting to happen, and for me, that pendulum ride might as well be a giant swinging death trap. No, thanks. But would you ride one? We've handled strange and bizarre creatures, but none have ever looked like this. The first thing that came to mind when I saw it was Spider-Man in the black Venom suit. But that's fiction. This is allegedly real life. After a few seconds, I see the rest of the creature, at least half of it. And I must say, it's not at all what I expected. It looks like an ant, and at the same time, well, it doesn't. I wanted to believe this is real, but something about it just screams AI. Do you hear it too, or am I just being a skeptic? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. In South Africa, there is a remarkable feature known as the footprint of God, a giant footprint embedded in granite. The footprint is incredibly well defined. It clearly shows the shape of the toes, the arch, and the heel, making it look strikingly similar to a human foot, but on an enormous scale. The sheer size of the footprint suggests that if it belonged to a human-like creature, the creature would have been many times larger than any known human. Geologists have dated the granite in which the footprint is embedded to be millions of years old. It implies that the print was made long before humans are thought to have existed on Earth. Does this confirm the myths and legends from various cultures around the world that speak of giant beings? Well, it's hard to say, but these stories might have roots in real historical events or creatures. What do you think? The world is getting weirder and weirder by the day. A woman shared a disturbing story online after a terrifying encounter involving her young daughter. One day, she rushed her daughter into the apartment, trying to escape from a man who had been following them. He managed to enter their apartment complex, but there was something off about him. He didn't walk normally. He jerked like his body wasn't under his control. Her Ring camera caught him lingering right by her door. She shouted from inside that she'd called the police, and eventually the man walked away. But when she posted the footage online, people in the comments noticed something else. In the background, another apartment door just across the hall slowly creaked open on its own. It didn't swing wide or slam. It moved eerily, just a few inches, revealing complete darkness inside. The man seemed to notice it, but instead of going in, he walked away. Viewers urged the woman to investigate, so she contacted building maintenance and they opened the mysterious apartment, and what they found was deeply unsettling. The unit was empty with no signs of anyone living there, except for one. This pile of children's shoes was placed in the middle of the room, and among them was a pair of boots that belonged to her daughter. This horrified her. So, understandably, after that, she installed another Ring camera, this time pointed directly at the mysterious doorway. Not long after, the camera caught something even more chilling. A neighbor stepped out of their room about to walk through the hallway, but suddenly froze. Then they backed away and looked visibly startled. At that exact moment, the pair of children's boots near the strange apartment door moved by themselves. People initially suspected a child trafficker or a disturbed squatter, but after this latest footage, many believe it could be something far worse, perhaps not even human. Something collecting children's belongings as a form of spiritual claim? Maybe. Some even think the shoes are a mark, signaling which child is next. The woman eventually took the video down from her account, and now no one knows what happened to her or her kid, or whether they're okay.
Oh, Lord. The f***? What is that? He's holding me. Y'all. What the hell is going on? Y'all see all these little kids? Should they have put kids' shoes up in there? What the... So how? So hold on, because no, this other day the door came open when I was in here. So if the door came open, like no, I'm sorry, I'm not.
A woman was trying to snap a quick picture of a staircase, but when she looked back at the photograph, she noticed something that made her skin crawl. That part way up the stairs was what looked like a pair of distorted legs. Not a full person, just legs bent at unnatural angles. Some people think it's a camera glitch or a double exposure, others say it could be paranormal. There are old stories about staircases being transitional zones where strange things can appear or slip through. Whatever it is, it's definitely unsettling. Did you know that everything around us might not even be real? I'm not just talking about illusions or tricks of the eye. I mean everything from your surroundings, the people you know, even the sounds you hear. Now, before you roll your eyes or brush this off as just another weird theory, hear me out, all right? Let's start with our vision. Our eyes can only perceive a tiny sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum, roughly 0.003%. That's the visible light spectrum. The rest is completely invisible to us. Infrared, ultraviolet, gamma rays, radio waves. It's all out there, moving through the space around us right now, and we can't see a single bit of it. So in a way, we're already blind to 99.997% of what's going on in the universe, but it gets weirder. At the back of each of our eyes, there's a literal hole, like a blind spot where the optic nerve connects. Technically, there's no information coming from that point, but do we see a hole? No. Our brains just fill it in with what we think should be there. The mind makes up details based on context, like a painter guesses how to finish a picture they've never seen. It's not just sight. Our ears work the same way. We only hear within a narrow frequency range, which is roughly 20 Hz to 20,000 Hz. Outside of that is total silence, even though sound might be blasting all around us. We miss so much simply because our biology is not built to detect it. So here's a creepy thought. If we can't see it, and we can't hear it, how do we even know what's really out there? What if there are entire layers of reality, other entities, movements, and messages happening just outside our perception? Someone recently made an incredible discovery of a rare piece of amber that contained something ancient inside. Trapped within it was what's known as an N-hydromethane termite. And get this, it's been dated back 22 million years. That's millions of years before humans even existed. This tiny creature was perfectly preserved by the amber that formed around it. It's not just the insect that's fascinating, it's also the tiny bubbles of ancient methane gas inside the amber. Some scientists believe this could give clues about the atmosphere and environment of Earth millions of years ago. It's like nature's time capsule. Just think about it. A creature that lived millions of years ago is now being seen for the first time in our modern day. In downtown Los Angeles, someone stumbled upon something that left them completely speechless. And it's this so-called alien church. While standing outside filming the unusual building, two men suddenly appeared and invited them inside. Once they stepped through the doors, what they found was anything but ordinary. The place looked like a church, but instead of statues of saints, there were gray alien heads mounted on pillars and a crucifix with an alien figure stretched out on the cross instead of Jesus. They also met this man who showed them artifacts he said held powerful energy. Some, he said, could slow down time. Others were believed to cleanse or revitalize the air around you. And they were priced to up to $1,000 each. It was a mix of sci-fi, New Age mysticism, and cult-like symbolism all in one space in the middle of LA. Does this sound like a place you would walk into? Let us know in the comment section. A family had gone out exploring a place known as Devil's Den. This spot is already surrounded by eerie stories. They were just there for an adventure, taking photos, but one picture taken by the mother turned into something they will never forget. It was a simple photo of a son. She was standing near some rocks, smiling and looking straight into the camera, but when she reviewed the image later, she noticed something strange. Over his shoulder, right beside him, was what looked like a white smoke-like figure, and within the mist was what appeared to be a face. No one else was near the boy at the time. There was no campfire, no smoke, no fog. Some think it might be a spirit attached to the land. Others say Devil's Den has long been a hot spot for unexplained activity. Either way, the mother said she just didn't feel right after seeing the picture. Would you go exploring the Devil's Den after seeing this? Ants may be tiny, so small you could squish one between your fingers without even thinking, but maybe we should be a little more grateful that they're that small, because when you look at them, really look at them close up, oh boy, they look terrifying. Under a microscope, an ant's face doesn't resemble the cute little bug from cartoons or animated movies. Oh no. What you see is bulging eyes, jagged mandibles that look like serrated blades, and a skin-like texture that's rough and alien-like. Their bodies are built for war. Their jaws are strong enough to tear through prey their size. If ants were the size of dogs or worse humans, we would not stand a chance. With their numbers, organizations, and strength, they could take over the world. Some people believe ants give us a glimpse into what life from another planet might look like: efficient, emotionless, and powerful in groups. Thankfully, we don't have to face that version of reality yet, but next time you see an ant crawling across your table, maybe look a little closer and see. This next piece of bizarre backyard discovery was shared by a man who claimed he was just digging around when he stumbled on what looked like a skull with a single horn attached to it. The first word that comes to mind is unicorn, but, well, let's be honest, the belief in unicorns isn't exactly mainstream, and the scientific community has yet to find any concrete proof that such a creature ever existed. But still, the skull does raise questions. Someone chimed in suggesting it might be from a narwhal. It's a fish with a long spiral tusk, but the problem with that theory is that narwhals are aquatic animals and their skulls are very distinct. When compared the posture and structure of a narwhal's skull to one found here, they just don't match up. So if it's not a unicorn and it's not a narwhal, what are we left with? Well, the most plausible theory might be that this is a hoax. Maybe it was planted there, or maybe it was a prop that someone buried long ago. Still, it's eerie how realistic it looks. If it's a hoax, someone went out of their way to make it very convincing. From a bird's-eye view over the ocean, we see a massive creature moving just beneath the surface of the water. It's got a scaly texture across what looks like a giant back slicing through the waves. It's long, dark, and incredibly big, even too big to be any whale or known marine animal. Some are already calling it a sea monster, comparing it to the legends like the Kraken or Leviathan. Others think it could be some kind of prehistoric creature that's managed to survive in the deep. But before we all jump to conclusions, well, let's just take a step back. There's a high chance this video might not be real. We've seen how good AI-generated visuals and deepfakes have gotten. The movement could have been animated. The texture might have been borrowed from existing animal footage and stitched together. And without clear metadata or confirmation from credible sources, it's kind of hard to verify anything. Still, the footage is hauntingly convincing, and even if it's fake, why are we so fascinated with the idea of giant creatures beneath the sea? Is it because most of our oceans are still unexplored? How do I feel about this image? The portrait shows a man strangely skinny with an unnaturally long neck and a smile that doesn't quite feel right. There's something off about it. At first glance, it looks like just another stylized piece of art, but the longer you stare, the more unsettling it becomes. The eyes seem too empty, the grin too fixed. It's almost like the image is watching you back. A lot of people online have said it gives them the chills, and for good reason. Images like these often go viral because of their eerie, nightmare-like quality. It reminds some of the internet mythos surrounding cursed images that hide a darker story underneath. Some say it looks AI-generated, others think it might be inspired by horror art, or meant to be an uncanny representation of a human pushing that fine line between familiar and not quite right. There's also a chance it's part of some digital art project that's meant to provoke discomfort on purpose because, well, let's be real, you remember the things that disturb you. Have you seen it before somewhere else, or is this your first time coming across it?
Does Google track my movement? Does Google, through this phone, know that I have moved here and moved over to the left? It's either yes or no.
Not by default. There may be a Google service which you've opted in to use, and if...
So Google knows that I am moving over there. It's not a trick question. You know, you make $100 million a year, you ought to be able to answer that question. Does Google know through this phone that I am moving over there and sit next to Mr. Johnson, which would make him real nervous? It's his question. It's yes or no.
I won't be able to answer without looking at...
You can't say yes or no.
Without knowing more details, sir.
This next footage appears to be some kind of court hearing or official proceeding, though the exact details are unclear. What is clear, however, is the unsettling exchange that takes place in the clip. A man is asked a simple question. Can Google track your movement from one place to another? The man being questioned seems to be someone affiliated with Google or someone expecting to have insight into their data systems. But instead of giving a direct yes or no, he dodges the question. He skirts around the topic, avoiding giving a firm answer, and just leaves the question hanging. Now, let's be real, we already know the answer. Google knows everything, from your last location to what route you took, from how long you were there, and even what you might be thinking about buying next. All of it. Every click, swipe, and step is recorded, and many believe it goes even deeper than that. There's this concept known as biotrace. It's when your very thoughts, emotions, and biological reactions are being monitored in subtle ways. That's why sometimes you just think about something, and the next thing you know, you're seeing ads for it all over your phone. That cannot just be a coincidence. Something about this entire setup feels bigger than we're being told, and with these corporations sitting on mountains of personal data, it makes you wonder just how much of you they really own.
Google knows that I am moving over there. It's not a trick question. You know, you make $100 million a year, you ought to be able to answer that question. Does Google know through this phone that I am moving over there and sit next to Mr. Johnson, which would make him real nervous? It's his question. It's yes or no.
I won't be able to answer without looking at...
You can't say yes or no.
Without knowing more details, sir.
A police officer was patrolling a quiet neighborhood when he passed by a massive old house that locals say has been abandoned for years. There are even rumors that it's haunted, which is why no one ever goes near it. But as he drove past, something caught his eye. At the front doorway, he saw what looked like someone peeking out at him from inside the house. Just a brief moment, and then it was gone. But if you look closely at the footage, you can actually see it too. On the left side of the doorway, a figure appears, then quickly disappears. The officer then reversed his patrol car to get a better look, and as he does, the figure darts across the doorway again just as suddenly. Now, this house hasn't had any known residents in years. The officer was shaken by what he saw. Some viewers who saw the footage suggested it could be a homeless person squatting inside, or maybe someone hiding after breaking in, but others are convinced this is a ghost, possibly the very presence that gave the house its haunted reputation to begin with. But what do you think?
At least I know I'm not crazy, because there's definitely somebody standing right there.
A homeowner recently retrieved some late-night surveillance footage from a camera facing the street outside their house, and what they discovered left them completely stunned. The clip begins with what looks like nothing unusual, just a man walking alone at night with a flashlight in hand, turning the corner of a building in a quiet neighborhood. But it's what follows next that has people talking. Just moments after he disappears around the corner, another figure appears, and this one does not look human. It looks like the faint apparition of a child dressed in a flowing white robe or gown. The figure glides across the screen in an eerily smooth motion, and what's most unsettling is how it doesn't have the weight or presence of a solid human being. People who've seen the footage are torn. Some believe this could be a black-eyed child. Others think it could be a wandering spirit, possibly a child who once lived or passed in the area. but skeptics say it's a hoax. Still, well, there's something about the way this figure moves and appears out of nowhere that makes it hard to brush it off as a hoax, so, well, what are we really dealing with here? When people die, there are a few common ways their bodies are laid to rest, which are burial and cremation. But have you heard of a process called alkaline hydrolysis? It's also known as water cremation, and here's how it works. The body is placed in a pressurized tank filled with a mix of water and a strong alkaline solution, then heated to a very high temperature. Over the course of a few hours, the body essentially dissolves, leaving behind only the bones, which are then dried, crushed, and returned to the family, just like ashes from a fire cremation. But here's the part that just doesn't sit well. The liquid remains are poured down the drain or disposed of through standard wastewater treatment systems. That's a human being reduced to liquid and flushed into our drains. Now, think about how often we hear about recycling wastewater, especially in cities dealing with water shortages. If we're not careful, it's not hard to imagine that processed water could be reused for agriculture, industry, or even drinking, and that's where a lot of people get uncomfortable. Sure, scientists say that water is safe and treated, but still liquefied humans in the water cycle? Yeah, that's a thought that's hard to shake. So how far is too far in the name of sustainability? This next footage that went viral back in February comes straight out of Campo Grande, Brazil, and it's left a lot of people scratching their heads. A group of men were hanging out by the river, just enjoying a hot day, when one of them decided to film the scenery. Everything seemed normal until the camera tilted up toward the sky, and that's when it got strange. At first glance, you'd probably just assume it was a tiny puff of cloud, but when the camera zoomed in, it became clear that this wasn't just a cloud. The object had shape and something else. It appeared to be two distinct white objects connected by what looked like a thin string-like thread. The whole thing was just hovering there motionless. It didn't behave like a balloon, a drone, or even a kite, and its symmetry and stillness were too perfect to ignore. Many online have speculated it might be some kind of experimental weather equipment, or even a surveillance drone in disguise. But then, there are others who went straight to the UFO explanation, saying it fits the profile of unidentified aerial phenomenon that have been reported before. They were small, white, and strangely tethered objects just floating high up in the sky with no visible means of propulsion. So what do you think? Is it a top-secret tech, something mundane, or something from way out there? Let's take a look at this chilling security footage. A group of kids was outside playing like any normal day. You can see them running around, laughing, and just having fun, but then something happens that makes all of them scatter in fear. Right at the center of it is a little girl. She's holding onto a metal pole, just standing there. And when one of the boys casually reaches out to touch her, he suddenly jerks back and falls to the ground. In an instant, all the kids start running away, rushing inside to get help. Now take a closer look. The little girl isn't moving, she's just holding onto that pole. That's when a man walks by and notices what's happening. He immediately takes off his shirt and uses it to grab the girl and pull her away from the pole without touching it directly. It turns out the little girl was being electrocuted. The pole looks like it might be part of a metal streetlight or an electrical sign, and clearly something went wrong. There must have been a serious electrical fault somewhere in the system, because that pole was carrying enough current to trap a child in place. She could not let go because her muscles were locked from the shock. Thankfully, that man noticed in time. His quick thinking might have saved her life, and possibly that of other kids as well. This next footage was shared by a man who had just moved into a new house, and what he caught on his surveillance camera left him completely terrified. Just a few days after settling in, he decided to check his outdoor security footage, and that's when he saw something deeply unsettling. In the middle of the night, someone or something was standing completely still next to the swing in his backyard. The figure was dressed in what looked like a white robe that covered it from head to toe. What made it even more disturbing was the height. The swing set in the yard was about 6 feet tall, and whatever this thing was, it matched that height perfectly. Now, here's where it gets even stranger. The man said he has dogs in a home alarm system, yet neither the dogs barked nor the alarm went off. He heard absolutely nothing that night. It's one thing to see a person trespassing, but, well, it's another when the usual signs like noise, motion detection, and barking are completely absent. So, was this even a person at all? Some say it might have been a ghost, others think it could have been a paranormal entity or even extraterrestrial. Some even pointed out that the white robe resembled traditional descriptions of certain entities seen during sleep paralysis or in haunted places. The man has since installed more cameras and stronger lights, and who can blame him? But says, well, he hasn't caught anything else since. What do you think was standing by that swing? A woman was enjoying a quiet day at the pool with her son, who had just finished taking a dip in the water. As he got out, she snapped a quick photograph of him. But when she later looked at the picture, she was stunned by what she saw. Behind her son, partially submerged in the pool, was a head and a pair of glowing eyes that were definitely not supposed to be there. According to her, her son was completely alone in the pool at the time, and yet this figure appears just behind him. Some have said it could be a reflection or maybe a pulled toy, but the shape of the head and the position of the eyes make it look disturbingly humanoid. Some viewers believe it might be a water spirit or even a demonic entity caught on camera. Others say it reminds them of tales of shadow swimmers. They are entities said to live in bodies of water and only reveal themselves in the rarest of moments. Could this be one of them? Take a look at this. What do you see? At first, it looks like a regular cloud, and then the longer you look, the more you realize there's something more. On one side of the cloud, there's this odd ring-shaped formation, almost like a perfect circle embedded in the fluff. As the footage continues, that ring doesn't just stay there, it morphs into an even more defined structure, almost like something inside the cloud is trying to reveal itself. Some viewers were quick to jump to the idea of alien activity, suggesting this could be a cloaked craft, partially exposed or glitching through its disguise. Others believe it's just a rare but natural meteorological phenomenon. We've seen cloud anomalies before, like lenticular clouds, hole punch clouds, and more, but this one, it had an eeriness to it, like it wasn't just drifting across the sky. What could it be? I know what you're thinking, but, well, I'd love to hear it regardless. Siberia is popular for a lot of things, but one thing that's got people talking recently is the strange ancient discoveries coming out of the Siberian permafrost. Some researchers uncovered what they claim to be the incredibly well-preserved remains of a woolly rhinoceros said to be around 12,000 years old. This led to buzz about biological engineering, with many speculating that scientists might try to bring it back to life, much like they're trying with mammoths, but not everyone is convinced. One sharp-eyed commenter suggested that the creature might not be a woolly rhino at all, but instead a large prehistoric boar, and when you look at some of the footage, you can kind of see why the features could be mistaken for either, depending on your angle and assumption. So what is it really? Well, that's hard to say, but you gotta wonder. Are we looking at a rare Ice Age survivor finally resurfacing, or just another case of mistaken ancient identity? Next, we have a very unsettling photograph that was taken by a family while sitting casually in their living room. In the image, 2 children are seated on the floor and 2 women are on the couch just behind them, posing naturally, well, for what should have seemed like a simple family photograph. But there's something else in the picture. Right between the 2 women on the couch, there appears to be a third figure, or at least some kind of strange formation that wasn't supposed to be there. It's not a person, but rather a tubular, smoky-looking shape that was white and hazy, resting in a position that looks almost like it's sitting right there on the couch. At first you might think it's just a camera glitch or lens flare, but take a closer look. The shape doesn't stretch like a reflection or have the markings of a motion blur. It seems solid enough to have form, but translucent, almost like a mass of smoke, and it doesn't look like any camera era we're familiar with. Some believe it could be a spirit or apparition, possibly a deceased family member. Others think it could be an energy anomaly, the kind often reported in paranormal investigations. Skeptics, however, argue it might just be a trick of lighting or a technical glitch, but even they admit that it's an odd one. Whatever it is, it doesn't fit with the rest of the image. The lighting, the seating, and the composition all make this strange shape stand out as something that was not supposed to be there. So what do you think it is? A man had visited a port and taken a few photographs, but it wasn't until he got home and began reviewing the images that one particular shot made him stop in his tracks. In the photograph, near one of the polished stone walls, there appears to be a figure emerging out of the wall. It's vague, almost ghost-like, but the shape is distinct enough to make out a head and shoulders. He says there was no one there at the time, and others who've seen the image agree that it doesn't look like a shadow or reflection. It looks like something stepping out from the wall. So, what are we looking at here? Is it just a strange play of light and texture? Or could this be an apparition tied to the place or even some sort of dimensional entity? Some have even suggested it resembles a portal, or at least the moment of something passing through one. Whatever it is, it's unsettling. And one more reason to never assume your photographs are just snapshots, because sometimes they might be catching things your eyes miss. There are a lot of things happening around us, things we can't always see with the naked eye, but sometimes our electronic gadgets seem to catch what we miss. We can't explain why or how. All we know is it just happens. A homeowner recently shared a piece of security footage taken from the hallway of their house. They'd been feeling uneasy for a while, like something was off. So they checked the recordings, and what they saw left them completely shaken. Take a look. In the footage, you can see what looks like a small figure materializing in the hallway. It appeared out of thin air, walked across the space, and then disappeared just as quickly. And it doesn't just happen once, it shifts in and out of view, pacing back and forth. What's strange is that the figure resembles a child, but the homeowner insists they don't have any kids, they live alone, and there has never been a child visiting or staying at their house. Some suggested it might be the spirit of a child from a previous tenant, maybe someone who once lived there and passed away, but others believe it might not be a child at all. They say certain entities can mimic the appearance of children to frighten us. Whatever this case, it didn't seem random. It was as if it knew the camera was there and wanted to be seen. Guys, where is Adana? Back. Sorry about that. It looks like Adana is found in southern Turkey. Now, we're not exactly known for having alien clips from Turkey. When some of the Turks saw the clip online, they joked about it, and this is what one person had to say. There was just laughter in the comments section. Should I consider this a joke then? You guys let me know what you think. With that, we end today's video. Thank you very much for staying with us. You got any videos? You got anything that you want to tell us? classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. Send us your stuff and we'll take a look. And if we like it, we'll stick it on this channel. I am going to be doing some more shout outs in the next video. We're just compiling them. So if you wanted a shout out in the comments in the last couple of videos, you're going to get one. Anyway, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you later, guys.